everybody and welcome back to another video. Today I'll be starting my own little series about different what-if events in Wings of Fire. I recently finished Marvel's What If, so this gave me an idea to make one of these with Wings of Fire. If you guys would like more of these kinds of videos, please let me know down below. If you have any ideas, feel free to tell me them. You'll be given credit if I use the idea. This video does contain spoilers for Book 10 of Wings of Fire, although I will be using my own take on some of the events. This is your spoiler warning. What if Qibli accepted Darkstalker's offer? Many have speculated as to what they think would happen, and this has spawned loads of different animations in the community. In Book 10, Darkstalker offers Qibli the chance to become an animus if he joins him. Though Qibli seems like he might accept it at first, he ultimately declines the offer because he doesn't want to lose a part of himself. However, what if he said yes? Qibli's heart was pounding in his chest. Darkstalker just offered to allow him to become an animus dragon on the one condition that he would never harm him. It seemed like a fair offer, right? But he kept asking himself why Darkstalker would offer him the chance to get all this power. A million things raced through Qibli's mind in that moment. What would Moon think? Would she want him to accept the offer in hopes that he could make the world a better place? Who knows, maybe he could even reverse the spell to hurt Darkstalker in the end. He could do so many great things with this magic. A little bit of it wouldn't hurt, right? No, this is wrong. I don't want to end up like Darkstalker, and there are other ways I can change the world, Qibli thought. However, he began to consider the possibility of him accepting. All that power simply in a dragon like Turtle's claws? He could do so much more with it. If any animus dragons would just listen to his plans. Qibli wouldn't consider himself selfish. All he wanted was to fix this broken world, and maybe magic was the only way he could do it. There would be no more dragonettes crying on the streets, calling out for help to those who never responded. Qibli told himself that he would never allow any dragon to feel as lonely as he did when he was younger. And so, with that in mind, he spoke the words that would change his life forever. Okay, I accept. Darkstalker's face lit up in a gigantic grin and eagerly nodded. Of course you'd say yes. I can't believe I had any doubts in my mind. You're smart enough to realize that this is the best decision, Qibli. That's what I like about you. Qibli shook off any thoughts that told him to do otherwise. This time he's going to listen to that part of him that he tried to avoid. Reaching tentatively towards his earring, Qibli removed it. He felt a sudden wave wash over him. Why did he feel safe being in Darkstalker's presence now? Oh well, he decided to ignore it. Darkstalker smiled a creepy smile that to anyone else would appear unsettling, but Qibli was completely unaware. I'm doing this for Moon, he thought. And so Darkstalker spoke unto the diamond that he had transformed earlier. The second Qibli touches this gem, he will become an animus dragon. He can do whatever he chooses with his power, though he will be completely loyal to me and will never even think about harming me. For a split second, Qibli panicked. Darkstalker never said anything about loyalty. What about his free will? But he had no time to linger on that thought any longer, because Darkstalker rubbed the gem against his stiff scales. All hints of doubt were erased from his mind, and Qibli bowed before the Nightwing King. Darkstalker let out a slight chuckle, which ended up turning into manic laughing. He had finally tricked him! Qibli, another animus dragon that wasn't an enemy, was finally under his control at last. All the things he could do with him! The number one thing on Darkstalker's list was to get this new Qibli to turn Moon over to his side. She would definitely understand his plan if Qibli told it to her, right? He ignored his promise to Moon just for that moment. Darkstalker wasn't exactly harming Qibli, right? He just made him better than he already was, and less paranoid. The power of another animus was in his claws, one that was close to Moonwatcher. Laughing with glee, Darkstalker ordered Qibli to follow him to the cliff Foe Slayer was waiting at. Things would finally go smoothly. Qibli felt like someone else was controlling him, and he was merely a puppet. The thought was not comforting, however he couldn't tell himself to do anything differently. He was just at the mercy of someone else, and that someone was Darkstalker, king of the Nightwings, murderer of thousands. With the loyal animus by his sides, Darkstalker managed to destroy every earring that had been created by Turtle's magic. Qibli's spells that Darkstalker commanded were a loophole, and soon enough every bit of magic that went against Darkstalker had been removed from the land. By this point, Darkstalker had felt like he could do anything. His mother, Foe Slayer, had begged him to stop, but he laughed a humorless laugh at her. If she wouldn't listen to him, he would force her. Using more and more of Qibli's magic so that Darkstalker would be unaffected by not losing his soul, Darkstalker turned his mother into Clearsight. Perfect copy existed in this world, and he had her! And so, he soon convinced this new version of Qibli to get Moonwatcher close enough to him, that she would be slightly under his spell. Nothing much, as he didn't want to break his promise with her, but just enough that she wouldn't go against what he was doing. Darkstalker sent Qibli to wipe out every Icewing in Pyra, and soon enough it was done. Darkstalker, the king of the Nightwings, murderer of millions now. If only his father would be able to see him now. With Qibli by his side, he could do as many spells as he wanted to without the fear of going insane. But little did Darkstalker realize, he had already become insane. Anyway, that's all I have for this short little verbal fanfic. It's very rushed, but I was super interested to do this. An animus Qibli would be very cool. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any other ideas for what-if concepts, let me know down below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.